And now my dog left me.
Oh,
After I gave what she wanted.
that's the worst. My cat's actually really like polite about me with like food and stuff. It's only when she's really hungry she's gonna be like, look, I need food now. Usually she just kind of like hangs out and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go like, get something downstairs, and she's like, by the way.
Oh no.
Feed me.
If Rocket is like, nah, you're hello.
Feed me. Hello.
I do appreciate that she was crying outside my door, but you couldn't hear her because it was closed. And Eric, instead of taking care of her, just like opened the door.
Oh, that's our Eric. All right.
That's great.
So,
Nice.
you had your conversations with fireflies. More time in the day passes. Is there anything else you wanted to do in Chasmguard?
Yes. I would like to go visit Kinley.
So those things when you
I'm worried about doing.
walk to her, it's maybe like on the way out, so Barut is like maybe behind you and is like, you can do this, buddy.
You got this.
When you sort of like go and knock, her door opens, and as it opens, you actually see a hand on the other side of the door that sort of a mist stretches back to Kindley's hand as it opens, because she's just sitting at like her desk.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Right, sorry,
it's like-
politeness, and I'll take off the mask.
Yes.
Because, like, I would have been wearing it in the castle at the moment because there's new people.
Yes.
But yes. Hi. Okay, so, you know magic and things like that. I'm noticing a little issue with the whole hunting with a party, especially humans. Sunlight, very bright. Snow, very bright. Do you know anyone that might be able to make something that can help with that?
Ah. Yes, your kind cannot see in the sunlight.
Well, I can see. It's just very hard and painful.
Yes. She kind of like opens a ledger of people and actually says, well, trying to find something in this town might be slightly difficult, but there is a gnomish craftsman that we sometimes work with. His name is Gapnoth Gorenzi. I know, he's a gnome. If you can find him in town, he might be able to custom craft something like this for you.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you very much. Okay.
And before, as you like turn, it's like, it will cost a lot of money.
I expected as much, but thank you. And I'll do one of the bows that one thing that I will note here: all the times that Virix bowed, he probably doesn't realize his bow is probably a lot more submissive than he realizes. It's just the way he's been taught to bow. So he does his bow and then leaves.
And as you leave, because Burrowit was just waiting over there, he's gonna walk in with his glasses and pull out the wine and offer just before he goes.
Good luck. And then close the door.
Why are you bringing me this?
In case you'd like some.
You are going to a feast tonight. You're going to need your stomach.
I am, which is part of the reason why I'm here, actually. And I'm gonna pour some wine in the glass and offer. And it's obviously it's one of the mugs because she keeps her glass. I'm sure.
Her glass is you can see it. It's on the shelf.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one glass
Yeah.
in the castle.
But I'm gonna hand her the wine.
She'll sort of take it and inhale and kind of nod, and sort of just swirl it in the mug. You know. Very well. If you must tell me what's on your mind, then be out with it.
It's not so much what's on my mind. It's more that I had a request. I am not confident about going into a situation that is a cultural situation where I know nothing about it. As you, I'm sure, are aware, I've been taking notes of the Northern culture, and I've been trying to learn as much as I can about the Northern culture, but I'm not familiar with it. And going into this situation, I was hoping that you might give me some insight as one elf to another into a Northerner situation like this.
Well, that I suppose I can do. The baroness, once a year hosts a feast. It's actually why she is in good repute with her people, because anyone is welcome. It is hosted in her family halls. It is a very big, open event where everybody drinks to excess. She sips.
Yeah.
There's a lot of religion. You should maybe continue to read the book on the Northern Spirits that I handed you.
Absolutely.
And she does not like the Greyfists, the Baroness. So, do behave, because any wrong steps, any misdoings will affect even worse on us than usual. So keep an eye on Virik.
Absolutely. And I'm going to obviously have been making notes somewhat furiously about this and have noted the book that I'm meant to read through. And then I will ask her, so the Baroness doesn't like the Greyfists. Is that due to something that the Greyfists have done, or is it due to something that she has as a prejudice, or...
Her brother joined us quite some time ago. He did not last very long.
I understand. That is... Well, that makes
Humans
sense.
grieve with anger.
Yes. Yes. And you'll see Burritt for the first time really sit on something, and he's fiddling with something in his pocket, pouch area. And then he stops and he says, well, I assume then that you won't be going to this feast.
No, it is just the four of you. We are all... well, I assumed Hellgiant would be going as the guild leader, but he has busied himself. I have plenty of work to do, and fireflies would not last a moment in that situation.
Fair enough.
And Zotar, he doesn't really like the politics of it. He would enjoy the feasting.
Right. And, well, I'm going to pull out the bottle of wine and offer it fully to her and say, would you care for the rest? And
No.
to keep it?
No.
All right.
Keep it. It might be able to lift your spirits, considering the quality of liquid that can be found in such towns. You should keep a hold of something of higher class.
And Burrott's going to do a full bow and say, thank you for your ear and thank you for your information. I appreciate it very much.
She
And-
just lets you leave.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else anyone wants to do before the evening?
Something I would like to, I guess, ask you in general. Is there anywhere around here that I can either buy studded leather or get studs put in my existing leather?
Oh, you can absolutely go out of town, go into the town and buy studded leather. That's not even a problem.
Is it just the same price as it is in the DMG? Okay, I'm too poor right now. We'll get back to that at a later date.
Yeah. You gotta earn up. You gotta upgrade over time. Or just kill someone with it and wear theirs. As is usually the case.
I will be working out extensively, and I will buy something small just as a gift, like a personal gift. I'll spend like 25 gold on it, which is what I have per person.
To bring to the feast.
I will be reading the book that Kindle recommend, The Northern Spirits. So, yeah, I will have spent whatever time I have, and then if I'm running out of time, I'll use lore keeping to finish through. Yeah.
Awesome. When it starts to get evening, Kindle will kind of come down the stairs, find all of you, gather you all together, and say, now you are going to be going to the Baroness's castle. Remember? Behave yourselves. Looking at each one of you in turn. And most importantly, make us look good. Ever since the fall of Drakenbrow, Slate Cove has been the cornerstone of the Greyfist operation in the north. And if we are forced out because of some incident, looking at the drow, it would be very unfortunate for absolutely everyone involved. But have fun. She'll kind of she'll actually then turn to leave and look back at Tobias and Onhelm and be like, one of you knows where the Baroness's castle is, yes?
I would assume I probably do.
You've seen it in the background. You could make your way there, you know.
Oh yeah, that big stone building that breaks the lovely horizon.
Yeah.
That I know it well.
She nods and then just goes back upstairs.
Do you not like the Baroness? Or what's gonna ask?
It's nothing against the Baroness, but I mean, money and manners won't save you from hungry owlbears.
Well, maybe keep that notion to yourself while we're in there.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to offend the lovely Baroness of Slate Cove. He says, not even trying to sound sarcastic.
And of course, I
will laugh.
Yeah, and Ornhelm, like, a Baroness? Like, it's just one of the reasons why Slate Cove is so weird to you. Like, instead of like a chief, a chieftain or anything, it's a baron. What? No. Gross.
All of this no, it's not like it's like, oh, another new thing that's weird. Cool.
All right.
Assuming my retainers aren't coming with me, I will give them chores to do while I'm gone.
Yeah, I assume unless stated otherwise, they are constantly busy with mundane, kind of annoying tasks.
I'll even like rent them out to what's his face again, like just do like random shit around the castle.
Yeah,
like, if I can't think of enough things to do.
Exactly. And the castle it's not run down. It's just no one has time to fix things. So,
what is his name again? So I can write.
Hurl Giant.
Hurl Giant. Thank you. You think that'd be easy to remember, but
you know,
I do not.
He hurled a giant.
Literally why he's named.
Yeah, his tattoo is of a dragon. Just to really mix things up. Yeah, so you start heading out into the town. It's always quite nice to explore Slate Cove at night because Northmen have a reputation for, you know, feasting and raucous activities, but to Barut, who's been in a lot of cities, there's a calmness to the town at night, especially considering you're usually traveling up or down the river. It's quite a calm, small town in some areas because it's just not very dense. It's very sparsely populated and things. When you approach the Baroness's castle, it is, as actually we discussed last week, built on dwarven foundations. So, like, the bottom layer of this castle, and the walls of this outer courtyard that have hedges and things around it, is all this kind of sort of bronzish stone, sort of similar to the Ring of Haldoon in some places, but not entirely, with very dwarven construction. And then how a northern castle would be made on top of that, with, you know, it looks reasonable to you. I mean, to Tobias, it's just a big building that has no reason to be this big. Stuff like that. And when you go over, it is a little bit away from the rest of the town in this kind of walled-off estate that actually when you open it, because the doors are open, and when you go in there are a couple of the town guard outside, but they don't even pay you any mind because there's a bunch of people that are sort of coming in or going out or sort of hanging out. And the courtyard gardens, essentially, are filled with wildflowers that are just starting to bloom because it's spring. And people who have mugs of ale or are just chatting. And you even before you get into the manor itself, there's just a very pleasant atmosphere of kind of similar to the tavern you were in before, but a little less energetic. As you just slowly get further and further towards the manor, where clearly one sort of wing of this building is a grand hall where all the outer doors are just open. And it's a nice chill evening, so you can easily just walk in. The grand hall is just open and filled with people laughing, drinking, eating. There's multiple tables filled with food. It is quite intense. When you walk in, the main table in the middle has a big wooden statue of a boar in the middle. There are actually even paintings on the walls of either holy scenes or the family members of this barony. And you are very out of place because Barut, as the person who would notice this, you only see one other non-human here who is another elf in the entire people you've seen. Everyone else is Northmen of some variety, or even the Royal Guard, which wouldn't be Royal Guard, just sort of the Baron's Guards are these old, usually bearded northern men with good quality equipment who are still laughing and joking, but also on guard because anyone is allowed in and kind of anything could happen. Yeah. You show up at the yearly feast. What do?
It probably doesn't help that I'm still in my full scale mail and
Actually, it doesn't look out of place because a lot of people are in armor.
Virik might. Virik might look a little out of place. What with the hood?
The hood and mask does look out of place. Yes.
But I mean, not that it's going to make me look any better, but I'm going to keep Virik real close to me, and I'm going to make sure that I've turned to him and said, "Don't go running off. We need to stick together here. Better safe than sorry."
Okay.
And
I still get
going
food, right?
The holy scenes on the wall, because Burwood's going to be very interested in that right away, if he notices them, which I'm guessing I did. Do I recognize them from the Northern Spirits book that I was reading?
Why don't you give me a religion roll?
Okie dokie. Once I find it.
It's half a religion.
Oh, not so good.
The paintings are just a very strange sort of style, and you immediately thought, oh, maybe it's religious, but then you're just sort of standing there looking at the painting, and you kind of don't get it. You're kind of a little lost.
Fair enough.
While you're looking at this painting, and also keeping Virik close, I'm just gonna turn to Eleanor and be the folks around here might take themselves a little more seriously than Oath and Fur, but there are good people. Come on, I'll show you what's up and try to find some people that I might recognize from town.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will immediately begin partaking in the festivities.
Yeah, exactly. A few moments in, when the festivities really start, there's actually this big display of they put food in the wooden boar's mouth, and then someone pulls a crank on the side of it, and the boar's mouth closes, and sort of all the food sort of smushes. There's a big cheer. The two Northmen know that actually this is a offering to the harvest god, who is a boar that continuously eats until there's no more food left. So it's sort of a big show of this whole sort of thing. And when that happens, people really start sort of feasting and eating and drinking, and the music grows and things like that.
I will, if we're all trained together, I will kind of go through it and explain it to Barut, the whole symbolism behind it.
Yeah.
What's his name? Selby the Bottomless.
Selby the Bottomless.
That's awesome.
is the name of the spirit,
so
the god of harvest.
And I would be making notes of that all the way through, and just I probably recognize some of the information from the book.
Yeah, it's one of those things where that book, because it was a northern book, it's just not written brilliantly. Also, it has a lot of pictures, which are great, but didn't really convey, because the way they drew this god is not the same as that statue,
Right.
There's a lot of the thing that you've noticed with this religion, of the Northern Spirits religion in the North, compared to every other religion you've experienced, is that there's a lot of interpretation that's completely different. Right? Other people just seem to see things completely differently than others, which is interesting.
And I don't really tell you much about scripture behind it, because I don't really know about it. But I'll tell you a couple stories, and I'll tell you what I know about their followers.
Exactly, it's more
they eat a lot. They tend to be a little on the rounder.
Yeah, it's a religion of stories and not scripture. you know?
Right.
But yeah. She might even point out as like, oh, that's a priest of the bottomless.
Yeah,
like,
that
just
would be one.
A larger man.
Meanwhile, Virik is like trying a bit of every food that he can. Just like trying everything. Just like
fish. Fried fish of many types and prawns and things like that. Like, this is when you really remember that it's like, this is a seafood town. And then you seafood and you eat it. Anyway.
Borowitz really enjoying the meal in general. He doesn't get a lot of seafood in general, so this is very exciting for him.
When you're sort of eating together and you're sort of gathered together in a little clump, one of the baroness's guards, and they're noticeable just because of the higher quality of their equipment and stuff, so he comes up to you and is like, by any chance, are you the Greyfists?
Indeed, we are.
The Baroness would like to meet you.
Lovely. Now?
Yes, she'll be coming. I'll go and fetch her. And he leaves, and she comes back with him. For the intimidation that you might have been thinking of, she is a very short and small woman. She has sort of this long brown hair in braids, as a lot of women here do. A circlet that is not really a crown, it's too low for a crown. That's very simple, it's just like iron, with maybe like a line of what might be platinum or silver in it. Her clothes are very fine quality, like they are actually have like a lot of construction to them, and like a big chunky jacket that makes her look a little bigger and a little more intimidating. But there's something about the fact that she just has this confidence, despite she's like small, that is kind of intimidating. And also lots of jewelry of variety, but never like to the extent of getting gaudy, aside from a big blue gem that sits right here. It's the only thing that's like over the top. And she kind of looks at a lot of you. It's like, "Hi, you're the Greyfist then. Glad that you've come over to my door."
Thank you for having us. It's lovely.
with the bow that I always do.
Anyone is welcome at the feast, so I thought I'd come over and make it known that I do have to admit I appreciate what your organization does for the town, but don't go thinking that you're walking around like heroes or anything.
Tobias just looks up from his like seat with like a drumstick on one arm and is just like, "It's our pleasure, miss." And just continues.
Aye, it bloody well should be. Because just remember, I'll take any of your heads if you need to.
Borowit's gonna bow and say, "Thank you very much for having us. I'm very glad to be here, and honestly, just humbled to be in such a cultural phenomenon."
Something I completely forgot to note, she's probably like 22. She's very young.
Okay.
She kind of like is a little bit taken aback by just the way you said that, and just like, Elvish Balami. I suppose enjoy yourselves.
Rick would actually say, "This is a very lovely feast. I really love everything here. It's great."
Just kind of stares at you for a bit because of the mask.
Oh yeah,
He's got a skin condition.
I try very hard not to laugh.
real bad.
That's a skin
Unsuccessfully.
condition. It's called being a troll.
Yeah.
I'll say, and I'm the healer that makes sure that he, doesn't have any problems. Contagious.
Your kind taking all sorts, don't you? Yeah. All right.
Well,
okay.
may I actually trouble you for a moment? And
Why?
well, I am a cultural researcher, and I am interested in the culture that you have here. And I was hoping to get your perspective, as you are the baroness of this area.
My perspective.
Yeah. On northern culture.
It's the greatest culture in the land, and anyone who says otherwise, I'll be taking their head.
May I quote you on that?
Fine. Be my guest.
Thank
Take
you
it
very
away.
much. And then Berwick's gonna make a note of that. Greatest culture in the land.
She kind of like looks around and even like looks at her guard, who just kind of like shrugs. She's like, and kind of just sort of heads back off to talk to other people.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of get the impression that she has to talk to everyone.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Is she like she's making her rounds right now? Is there gonna be like, I don't know if anyone else is wanting to, but I'm keeping an eye to see if she like goes and doesn't talk to anybody for a while, and I'm gonna approach it.
Go ahead and give me a perception roll.
Sure.
At some point, she actually heads out into the outer gardens, where there's the sort of fresh air and shaped hedges and things and trees.
I'm gonna make my way out, assuming that I'm not stopped by guards.
You are not. There's less people out here because the feasting is in full swing, and like every now and again, like a group of food comes in again, and people are like, hey! So there's sort of the muffled sound out from outside when you go outside, and she will actually notice you come up, and you actually see her reach for her amulet, and then kind of like catch herself. And turn properly to you and be like, you're insistent.
I actually was hoping to talk with you about something else, if you don't mind.
What's on your mind, elf?
May I sit? I'm assuming they're somewhere in the garden.
Yeah, like metal benches and things. Actually, which is a little note.
Yeah. Well, I'd take a seat and I'd just say, I don't want to be insensitive, and I certainly don't want to come across as rude in any way. I was told about your brother as well, that he joined the Grey Fists, and unfortunately, I don't know his exact fate, but I'm going
to stop you right there. I don't want you, or any of your kind, talking about my brother. He was a good man. And he was taken away because you drive this foolish idea that you can all be heroes and you can go and fight monsters. I don't want to hear. You turn and you leave.
May I say one thing? There is no such thing as a hero. But the closest thing to it are the people who sacrifice themselves. And I'm sure that your brother was more of a hero than anyone still living in Grey Fists today.
She stands up. That kind of mixture of like annoyed, but like sort of, I don't even know the word, but you sort of like you did get to her, and she sort of stands up. Roll me a perception check, Brew. Yeah. You're kind of looking behind her, and you notice the hedges are like really unkept, and it kind of distracts you a little bit as she starts like marching away behind you, and you keep looking, and they're getting more unkept. In fact, these kind of large brambles are starting to twist from the hedges, and you think maybe it's like one moment, like, or maybe you're seeing things because it's dark. And then you look around, and all the hedgerows around the manor, these large brambles, slowly at first, but then quicker, are starting to sort of twist and form this wall. And they're sort of starting to dig into the ground around, and making this like horrible noise of like wood and plant matter twisting and groaning and moving. And no one else is noticing, because they're all inside drinking and eating.
Okay. She's walking away right now?
Yes, but she's still outside with you, yeah.
Does she seem to have noticed?
No. She's probably not looking at things.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna turn to her and say, I apologize. I have one more thing to say. The branches of these trees seem to be closing in on us. We should move back into the castle.
What are you Oh shit!
Yes.
And then as that happens, you actually see a sort of group of small creatures jumping out of the tree line. Kind of humanoid, but every point of their body is like a jagged, sharp twig or branch, and they're starting
jumping at her.
They're kind of jumping at the two of you.
Okay.
One moment.
Yeah.
I am going.
Oh, this might have been dangerous. Oh boy.
Oh, you thought you were gonna
have
go
it.
to a feast and nothing was gonna happen? Like, what?
Oh
what
no
are
no
you talking
no!
about?
I just thought it might have been internal, but then when you said that she went out to the garden, I was like, oh no.
Okay,
Well,
at least your D&D senses are pretty good.
Yeah.
See, I was just planning what Virik was going to be doing inside, but this works too. You let
Stealing?
Virik alone.
Stealing. Is the answer stealing?
To be clear, I would have definitely told Tobias that I'd be right back and to not let Virik
No,
steal it.
yeah, you noticeably left the group. That's entirely true.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you would have said, I'll be right back, I'm like, okay, you're like, don't let Virik steal anything. Just look at Virik and I'm like, I get to be the cool parent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool dad. Dungeon dad. I actually need to get a token for the baroness real quick. Do I have
Because
one?
he's been stuck in this town with all the, like, he's only encountered people that, are only just sort of scraping by. He doesn't want to steal from them. These people, though, oh, it's open season.
Oh no.
I know, right? It's great. One moment. I have to find the perfect tokens. Otherwise, what's the point?
Totally reasonable. Is it reasonable to say that if I shout, they will not hear me?
They probably will.
Okay, because I
Eric
will
is
have
gonna
been
find the token
shouting,
choice
so
for me.
we need to get back into the castle.
Can we do
because
perception?
Things are moving.
Yes. No, actually, what you're gonna do is that, Barut,
Oh, I see.
you are going to make a old initiative roll for me, please.
Could be worse.
Beasties, tiny beasties. 14. That's not horrible. Oh,
As I said, could be worse. It could always be worse as long as it's not a one.
yeah.
That's,
It could be worse. It could be raining.
I love the rain.
What's wrong with you?
I
Rain
live
is
in a
awesome.
As a Brit, rain's great until you have too much of it.
See, we
Hey,
have too
Barut,
little.
these things are gonna act first.
Yeah, I see that. I see that in the turn order.
Where's my fucking monster manual? It wasn't
Do
in my
they-
book pile.
It's always worse.
Yeah.
Just before, yeah, okay. No, I'm gonna have to ask a question on my turn.
You are.
I am.
I know, it's great. Sure.
Let repair.
Open the right page. You'd think I would have left a post-it note in the right section, but no. I'm not that smart. Okay. They're gonna charge at you because I imagine you kind of instinctively stood in front of the Baroness.
Yeah, I've got my shield and
who
sword
you
out.
are. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Right. These things are small, and actually they're running, but they're kind of slow. I mean, they're plant creatures. They're running at you, but they actually don't get an attack off.
Oh, good news. That one
passed. Barut.
moved around. Huh. Okay. Well, I was gonna ask: do they appear to be elementals of any kind?
They appear to be tiny plant gremlins.
So no, not really.
No, really.
No. Okay. In that case, I'm going to. I'm going to attack this little one right here.
Go ahead.
With my longsword. Not well.
I
It's
actually
tiny.
can't see. Oh, yeah. It's one of those things where Barut is not obnoxiously tall, but he's tall and swinging down. And
Yeah.
a tiny thing like that, when there's cobblestones and stuff, but even in between the cobblestones, the plant life is starting to grow and twist. It's just kind of freaking hard to do. The Baroness, kind of were you going to do anything else? Your free action on?
No. I'm
You
gonna
were
try
nearly
and...
an indicator for a second there.
Yeah, well, it's a talent.
It's a living.
It's a living. I'm gonna stay in between them and her. Like I want to stop that one that's down in the corner, but I can't because there are 3 of them.
She will immediately turn and yell.
Good.
Tiny woman equals loud.
Big voice. Yeah.
It's just how it works. And she will immediately sort of put her hand to her necklace and pull water from it. It sort of coalesces around her hands, and she flings it at one of these things very aggressively.
Which one?
The one that kind of went past her.
Cool.
But actually, it kind of like ducks and dodges to the side, and she swears again.
Yeah. Okay. I like her so far.
As she's prone to do. Everyone else roll me initiative.
Okay.
It's one of those things where, like, as yelling has taken place, people are starting to turn and run and stuff like that. You don't have to worry about the civilians in this for now. So these guys are so tiny, they're kind of hard to see on the battle map. I will fix that with giving them little green glowies.
Yay.
I swear I clicked my icon. Am I not on the thing?
Nope.
You aren't on the thing. I can
No,
put you on the thing in a second. And I don't see a Lenore either.
Oh, I clicked my icon with the ruler. That's what I did.
Ah, yeah.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Sorry, I'm wrong.
Yes, exactly. That is Odette's token for the baroness. Kind of like totally works. It is actually their turn again, and this is where they're going to start attacking at you, Barut. Barut, what is your armor class? I'm just asking for a friend.
Well, if you're asking for a friend, it is 25. If you're asking for yourself,
level 2,
it is 15.
Hey, actually, the first one does hit you.
God damn it.
Yeah. Dealing 3 damage as basically this tiny thing leaps at you, and you sort of shield up, and it kind of like lands on top of the shield, and then goes like, and it basically feels like scratching yourself on like a punching branch that you didn't notice or something. You know, it's going to leave a mark, but it might not bleed or anything like that. The other one on your side is also going to hit you for another 3 damage. And this one's going to be like.
The squishiest ones out there.
Yeah, you guys.
Root.
I'm going to at the same one here. I'm gonna target it with this. Oh, thank goodness.
That is a hit.
Yep. For 18 damage.
That is significantly more than its max HP.
Yeah, so I wanted to just wither to dust.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you finally grab it, and this isn't the one that jumped on your shield either.
No.
You grab at the other one, kind of like trying to shake that one off, and it just crumbles away into nothing.
I didn't mean to do that, sorry. I was trying to extend it so I could read it, my bad.
No, good. Yeah, so it's all
and
good.
then, as a bonus action, I am going to cast Healing Word on myself for 6 HP.
Coolio. This is when I start to. This is where the fun begins. Is really what it is, because I forgot to do a couple of things. So let me do a couple of things.
Oh, good.
oh no.
Oh no, yeah, that's how it goes.
That's how it do.
That's how it always be how it is, but it do. You know? Just doing Roll20 things. You know how it is.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here, folks.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
And they get little initiative rollies.
Oh, good.
But they're not very good. And actually, it is now Viric's turn. Sorry about that.
Ooh, good. Okay. So, I measured out if I go from here to here, that's 40, and then I'm going to now use that step of the wind. Used. So I'm going to expend a key point. So what you see is just the second there's sort of any sort of screaming or anything, Virik full on like jumps over the table and sprints super fast with a little bit of shadow trailing, you're not sure, all the way straight over to this one right here. And then he's going to go for a stab.
That's very much a hit.
And
that pile of that you sort of go and stab at the thing, and it just shatters into twigs.
Oh,
if only I could hit my longsword.
And then I still have 10 minutes, 10 thing of movement, so I'm going to move
The word
out
you're looking
here.
for is feet. I know it doesn't make sense, but that's just how the world is.
Yeah, and then I'm here, and then there. That's the end of my turn.
Next up is Tobias.
Right.
This is where I'm currently struggling to do the alphabet again. In this monster manual.
Well, seeing that guy get just immediately decimated, I just turn from what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, a fight. We're warned about this. So I'm gonna move 30 feet that way. Still don't see much, so I'm gonna use my action to dash out here. And my last 10 feet I'll move here. So I just run out around the corner, basically just beside Virik. I'm like, what's going on? What is
yeah, and you see Barut getting attacked by tiny creatures and turning one to dust.
Well, though.
Classic Barut.
Because you guys didn't see this, so I'm looking pretty healthy right now. You guys didn't see
Aelnor.
Yep. I am just going to double move my turn. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 55, 60. Probably over here. That's my turn.
Awesome. More things are coming out of the quite literal woodwork. Oh, I'm so funny.
We laughed, so.
Yeah. And you actually hear, because, you know, I don't bother putting, like, crowds into scenes. There's still crowd dispersed, and you hear people, like, yelling and sort of getting out of the way as something charges into the building that you all just left.
Oh, dear.
As is, you know, how it works. Next up is the Baroness, who is going to back up. Back into the strong arms of these boys. Next up is the little dude, who is going to scratch at Barut. But miss.
Thank goodness. I'm just like holding my shield out as far as possible so he can't like swipe it. It's still.
It's like the holding the head of the kid.
Like, no, stop it.
6. You see a more human-sized one of these creatures sort of lumber out Barut, covered in needles and spines and thorns, and it kind of just like whips its arms at you, and the needles launch off.
Oh, good.
Let me just check the range. Oh, perfectly in range. He's up here. He's a cheeky lad. And but it's one of the things where as the needles sort of fly at you, you're just like into the shield.
Good. Is that little guy still on the shield?
Yes.
I'm guessing he's not getting hurt by those needles, though.
No, there's no friendly fire in.
Just checking. You know.
Be glad there's no friendly fire.
Yeah, no, believe me, I am. I was just asking.
Friendly fire only happens when you're really, really unlucky or bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna swing at the one that is on my shield still with my longsword. And miss because he's a slippery bugger.
Yeah, he crawls around.
Yeah. And I'm gonna just shout at them and say, "There's another big one up here, but it sounds like people are screaming in there. Someone should probably go in there."
Virik, people are screaming.
Yep. So I'm gonna 1, 2, and can I see what's going on in here? I can see what's going on here. the big frog thing.
So what you kind of see, it was the best token comparison I had, is kind of like how these are almost twigs and plant life in a humanoid form. This is much more dog-like. It's like on like a hound of plant matter that is sort of barreling towards you.
Okay, then I will say, dog thing. Okay, I'm gonna, what's 20 feet? So I am going to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then wait. No, I got 2 more because I'm a monk now.
Yeah, you're a monk.
Nah.
I'm a monk level 2 now. I'm faster. Oh, it's 25 feet there. Okay, so I still have a disadvantage.
If you went here instead, you would have been in 20 feet, which you could have.
Can I retroactively move there? Yeah, okay, there. And
as a monk, you can figure out a way to finagle yourself into the best position. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of the only thing you do.
Yep. I'm gonna then boomerang him.
I also need to give this guy.
Oh no!
Yeah. You boomerang at this thing, but you kind of have to like very carefully arc your shot to not hurt civilians.
That's what I was worried about.
Just sort of clatters into like stuff.
At least it's not a natty 1. Okay, now I'm gonna try and gonna try and catch it. Oh no! Oh, it's just gone.
It's just gone. It's one of those things where it like clatters into the ground and then it gets kicked under people's feet and skids, and you lose track of it like immediately.
At least it didn't bounce off and decapitate one of the guards.
Yeah. Yep.
Pretty crazy because it's blunt.
Yeah. No.
I mean, it decapitated the dummy if it hits hard enough.
It's not a clean decapitation.
No.
No.
Tobias. Speaking of not clean,
I'm gonna be having the shield above me with the guy on there.
Yeah. Given the situation, I'm just gonna kind of look at Eleanor and be like, in so many words, basically looking at Baruid and looking to Virik inside.
I will go protect the people. Do you want to get him a hand?
Okay, that's all I needed to know. I just give you a look like, copy that, and yeah, that's what that's gonna be. I will move like here. And I can see the big guy now. But I'm gonna try to shoot this one on the shield.
Yeah.
With my bow.
This is an easy shot for Tobias.
This is
You've done it so easy. There's no way this will possibly go wrong. That's a hit.
Thank God.
Yeah, I'm just trying to jinx your shot.
Yep.
And it's max damage.
Yeah, it's just literally like arrow sails the thing away.
Perfect.
Wherever it goes, it ain't coming back.
And that's what we call trust.
Teamwork.
Yep.
Just look to Baruid like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
I'll move up a little closer. Actually, move there. Okay, that's what I know. Or sorry, I only 5 feet. There we go. That's my turn.
All right. Eleanor.
Alright, I'm gonna move. 130. How close is he to me? Oh, I don't have the ruler option.
It is further down. It's a ruler with a ring in it now.
Alright, you know what? I'm gonna take disadvantage. I'm gonna try to hit it with javelin as well.
We could do the same thing I did. Move the other instead of up.
Not a monk.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
I
point.
can't move any further. So yeah, I will take disadvantage and I will try to hit him with javelin. And then pull out my greatsword.
That's actually a hit.
Because me not rolling with disadvantage and getting natty ones.
Yeah, that is a real strong like as you run in.
Yep. So I pull it out, toss it, take out my javelin at the end of my turn.
Oh, it's one of those things where that's a real strong hit, and you knew it was. You knew it was gonna hit true. But this thing, it just sort of like hits into it and hits into the ground and splinters, and some of it stays in it. Some like the shaft stays in the creature, and some doesn't, and it just sort of like shakes it off and keeps sort of going, even though there's a hole in it. And the hole starts to sort of refill as like vines and twigs and plant matter starts to sort of like knit together. And it will move.
And you know what? As a bonus action as well, before my turn ends, I will cast Thunder Smite.
Oh, yeah. Fair
Hey.
Yeah.
Deafened everyone in here.
Yep. What?
Hey! It will try to take a bite out of crime. What's your armor class? drow.
13.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's you fought dogs or dog-like creatures before, and even though it's this weird plant amalgamation abomination thing, like it runs up to you and tries to bite you like a dog does, and you just kind of like can dodge back and not hit anyone as you jump back, and it goes like
Toro.
The baroness is pretty much a non-combatant at this point. She did her one thing. The twig guys over here.
Is this a big one or the small one?
The small one.
Oh, there are more?
Of course there are more.
I'm asking.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
we can't see.
The big guy, though, is going to actually swing again at Barut. But he's just shield again.
Yep. I'm gonna have some nice needles in my shield after this. I'm just gonna be stuck there for a while.
This thing is...
Aaron, if you haven't pulled far enough over to the left, there's actually another guy in this room I didn't even see.
Another guy.
There he is.
Where is he?
Hi.
Oh, over there. Yeah, no, I saw him.
I did not.
He is actually going to swing at Elnor with his needles.
Ooh.
But it's just one of those things, it's just a complete miss. It's like you probably put your like greatsword in front of you and deflect the few that would come at you. It's kind of like a shotgun blast because they're not using a bow or anything. They just kind of fling their arms out. Next up is Barut. Barut and Tobias make me perception checks.
Oh. Oh.
As you're sort of like looking at this needle flinging tree monster, you kind of notice something behind it, behind a tree line. Something getting larger. It looks like a man-like creature, but with skin. It's too dark for you to tell the skin tone or anything, but it's dark. A beard long that seems to be full of plant life, and this big, gnarly, sort of almost like a staff axe. And in giant, it starts to talk. When you notice it, like you noticed it before it starts to talk, of course, where other people will just start to hear the booming. In giant, it goes, "You humans build on tainted soil, sinning the land, building your tiny cities. It will be destroyed." And this thing might be 20 foot tall.
Oh.
Okay.
But you saw it grow. It's about 20 foot tall, towering down, like the voice booms down.
It wasn't 20 foot tall before?
Saw it grow from out of sight to 20 foot tall.
Okay.
Your turn.
Well, I'm gonna move for the first time in this combat. Crazy concept.
Movement? What?
What is that?
You see more twigs skittering towards you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was figuring. They were around there. And I'm gonna step one more forward, and I am going to shout back in giant as much as I can, because my giant is good but not amazing. Shout back and say, "What do you mean by tainted?"
I knew it.
That's the most. Oh my god, that's the most rude thing ever.
I'm trying to do a cultural study.
Can you have a few minutes for a survey? Is that your full turn?
I mean, I think.
Did you
with
dash?
my bonus action? I haven't. I'm gonna dash instead of doing anything else and be right up in this thing's business.
Virik.
Okay, so I'm going to essentially move around this thing like this, probably actually around this way, and as I go, scrape my short sword along it as I jump around.
Yeah.
God.
No.
No.
And then when I get there, as I've swiped over and I've missed, I'm just gonna kick it angrily.
Yay! Who needs weapons? Punch my That's real good. That's crazy good damage.
Why are you
I'm real angry.
It's one of the things because you're kicking it. And I imagine you almost stomp down on it because you're kind of like over it, and it just like that part just collapses into like like a pile of twigs, leaving a big hole. Tobias.
Right. Oh. Yes, I see what's around the corner.
Also, I mean, it's not on the map. You totally could shoot at the big guy, like the big 20-foot tall guy. You could, because you've got a longbow.
Right. Well, given that we have a situation on our hands here, I'm gonna kind of take a second to try to like focus on the natural energies around me and try to cast a spell for the first time.
Attaboy.
So I'm gonna raise my bow and take aim at this first little thing right here and cast Hunter's Mark. I wasn't meant to roll damage. I meant to ping the spell, but you probably know what that does anyway.
It's Hunter's Mark. You could got to change it from like damage spell card to spell card from attack spell. That's
right. In any case, this is going to be a longbow attack going towards that guy.
It's a hit.
22.
I don't think you needed the Hunter's Mark.
Yeah, I don't think you did either. I think he's dead.
Yeah, it's
cool.
gone.
And then I'm gonna bonus action move my Hunter's Mark to this other guy.
Yeah.
That's my turn.
Awesome. Eleanor.
Yep. I'm gonna run up. I'm gonna hit him.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, right. I feel so.
Oh.
I don't know why I rolled
Oh,
twice.
you didn't have disadvantage.
You could have had advantage if you went to the other side of him.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's true. You actually
I
sort
don't
of,
usually play the flanking rules.
if you wanted to move and flank, and that means you get to roll your attack roll for the third time, I will allow it.
Would you allow that? I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Because you just gotta, because you've never played with me with a melee character.
I know, right? I usually avoid that.
Third time's the charm.
But
That's all there is to it.
God damn it.
I really feel like I should smite. Because I did crit. But that would be all
You're
my
already
stuff.
smiting.
It's a spell.
Yeah, it smites on
Yeah,
the
but
first
you're
one.
how I always run it is you're doing a smite. It's just a different kind of smite.
Oh, okay. I
You
will, I
can't
will
stack
change the
smites
name,
on
though.
top of each other. It's how I always
Because
run it. It
the-
doesn't make sense to me in the
That's
world
fine.
logic.
I'll just change the spell because there are spells that do bonus damage that don't have spite in the name. Which should be fine.
To be fair, yes.
Oh my god, the dice! Holy
I
shit!
think it exploded.
Yes! It explodes!
Covered with like.
This is why you didn't need to add an extra smite.
No, I know, but
It's just like.
that would have been like what, like an extra like 48 if I did.
Yeah!
There are level 8 characters that do not do that kind of damage.
So I hit it. I cleave through it with my greatsword, and because of the spell as well, it just goes fucking flying. Because its pieces go flying 10 feet out.
Yeah. It's shatters.
25,
Too many parts.
30, and I will run towards this guy. Very angrily.
As you do.
As you do as a paladin.
Yeah. You hit the thing, you kill it, you keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
And the needle guy, like you run up to the needle creature, Barut, thinking like, you get up close, it's not gonna be able to attack you. Then you notice like its whole arms and body is coated in like sharp needles, and it just starts like clawing and raking at you.
Yeah, I had a feeling it would still, but I was hoping it would be not as good at it.
As you're running up, shield drawn, it goes like, just kind of scratches at your shield, maybe even scratches at a little bit of the armor on your arms, but doesn't pierce it. This one is actually gonna meet your charge down here, and is gonna attack at you. What's your armor class? Eleanor.
My armor class? You can't see it?
I don't,
oh gosh, I never
usually
added
check.
my armor for the chainmail. I don't know how much it gives me. Off the top of my head. It's 10 for now, we'll say.
10 for now.
It's my fault for not adding my...
You know what?
Right.
I am the DM who makes it if... Oh, you didn't track your gold in your inventory? You lost your wallet. 16? It doesn't hit 16.
It's 16.
It claws at you. Actually, even claws like in at the chainmail, but like claws can't pierce the chainmail. Next up is Barut.
Well, I think the big one seems like more of a threat to me right now than the little one, as much as the little one is now beside me and I'm annoyed that it's there. But I also know I'm not going to be doing too much anyways, so I'm just going to swing my longsword at the big one.
That's a hit.
Cool.
He says checking, but that totally should be a hit.
Cool. Or 7 damage.
It does not fall. It's one of the things like you do like a good cleaving hack into the side and then wrench the sword out.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a weird plot.
Yeah, I wasn't
so
expecting to
doesn't
fell it
fall
with
in one.
that, but, you know, maybe if I had an axe.
Hmm?
I said maybe if I had an axe, I would have been able to fell
Yeah,
it.
I get it. Are you doing anything else?
Yeah. No, that's it.
I get it. I just didn't laugh.
Yeah. No, I know. Because you hurt my pride, Ollie. Because you hurt my pride.
There's no lions here. Virik.
Okay, so
That's
Virik
just-
is first of all just sitting there like, holy shit!
Yeah. As you fucking should.
Thing like just exploded in front of him. He was like, okay, and then he's gonna run down here and try to do the same thing. So as he runs from like here to here, he's gonna try and cleave the short sword past. And I am going to take the advantage from the flanking. And I'm glad I took the advantage from the
That's a
flanking.
hit.
I'll take it.
You might
And
as
then
well, right? Don't go a choice.
So I've just like gone past him, landed. I'm just gonna with the hilt smack him in the back of the head with the hilt.
Bonk. That's a hit.
Yeah. I will take it.
You bonk him. Tobias,
A bonk.
you sort of taking scene of the situation. You see that huge giant lumbering away and actually shrinking again. Like, my job is done here. Heading northward.
He didn't answer me.
Huge giant though. I can still see him kind of from where I'm at.
Yeah, he's like shrinking
He's in the process of
still.
getting smaller.
Yeah, you think he'll probably get out of sight soon because the hedges were large anyway, but now they're like overgrown even more and like almost like
going
trapping people in.
Well, I guess first things first, shoot this guy with my longbow.
That's a hit. The twig explodes.
Then I will move over here. And then I'm going to use my bonus action and actually move my hunter's mark onto that guy who's running away.
Oh.
Give me an Arcana check.
That's something I'm horrendous at, but
I know.
here we go. That's a 14.
You actually try to like put your mark on it, and there's nothing there. Like you're trying to sort of like focus your senses is almost how I imagine you're doing this on a target, and it's like you can't grab it mentally.
Interesting. Okay. I will look confused and end my turn.
Looking confused is a bonus action.
Alright. I'm gonna tap. I'm gonna change this to normal.
It's a hit. You bring this thing down. Maybe Virik warmed it up. He did some punching and like stuff in the background, but you're just like.
He tried to do it. Yeah. And then I will run the other way.
Mm-hmm.
See if these guys need help out here.
They got the last one out there.
I will ask the baroness if she's okay. 'Cause I see
She's
her.
like, just sort of like waves you on. She doesn't seem to be harmed.
And that's my turn.
Next up is the beastie, who is going to claw at Baru. And actually, sort of, maybe you notice that Tobias is distracted, and you look as well, and you see it moving away. And in that moment, it like grabs where your armor stops at the neck and just starts like clawing and wrenching at your neck, very dramatically.
Ouch.
Oh no, that was a lot of dice.
That was a crit, wasn't it?
10 damage.
Oh my god!
Very cool.
That hurt.
Rip and tear. Next is your turn.
Oh boy. Well, I'm just gonna swing at it again. Kind of mad that it hit me. And is 15 a hit? Yes.
Sorry, I was typing to the kind
That's
folks
okay.
in chat.
Yeah, but 15 is a hit, yes?
15 is a hit, yes.
Wonderful. And for 6 damage.
And with that, you fell the tree creature.
Lovely.
And when all is said and done, combat ends. There's sort of a breath of relief. That giant is no longer in sight. The tree life here is still overgrown and brambly, but it looks like the growing stopped. Like it just sort of like grew and then stopped in this strange sort of overgrown, twisted fashion. And with that, why don't we take a quick break? I changed to like the overlays, but like, what's the point? You know, what's the point? What's the point?